Hey, what's up, friends? It's James. Welcome to 30-Minute Power Yoga. So for the next little bit, we're going to focus on our strength, flexibility, balance, and mindfulness. Come to your mat and grab a cross-legged position. You want to scooch your body to the front edge of your sit bones so you can pull the flesh away and then kind of walk them back. From here, close the eyes and just take your hands down on top of your thighs. With an inhale, lift your shoulder heads up nice and high, lengthening the spine and space. And on that exhale, just roll your shoulder heads down away from the ears on the back, creating some really nice posture. Relax the weight of your hands. We'll warm up our breath with an exhale all the way down to empty. And then breathe into your low belly for 1, 2, 3, and hold. Breathe into your mid-abdomen up to your mid-back for 1, 2, 3, and hold. Breathe all the way to the chest, all the way to the shoulders. Once you've got that full breath, just hold and relax. And on your exhale, like you were quieting someone, let's make this sound. Shh. Take that all the way down to empty. And then once you're at the bottom of the breath, we're going to fire up our Ujjayi breathing that we use for the class. You'll start to take inhales through the nose, sipping the air in like it's coming through a straw, filling from the bottom all the way up to the top. And on the exhale, you'll release out the nose as if you're fogging up a mirror, slowly bringing it all the way down to empty. So the shh sound you were creating, or sipping the air or fogging up a mirror, this engages the muscles in the back of your throat. And it allows you to narrowly control the intake of air and then narrowly release the air back out. Your breath is your link to mindfulness. As you pay attention to it, you start to give the mind that focus, that center. So I always say, let your breath be your guide for your practice. Just take what works for me and leave the rest behind. Blink those eyes open to a soft gaze up front. And then on an inhale, lengthen and lift the arms up nice and tall in space, rooted into the front edge of the sit bones, extending through the fingers. With the exhale, just draw your hands together down into your heart center. Nice. Take that again. Inhale, reach the arms wide and tall. And then on the exhale, we're going to twist over to the right. So just bring your right hand behind you and bring the left hand to the outside of your right knee. On an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall. Breathe in. And as you exhale, twist from center and take the gaze back over your shoulder. We're taking a few rounds of breath here. And you want to feel that that left hand is gently pulling against the right knee to bring you into that twist. And you want to hear the sound of like ocean waves or the sound of hollow wind that gets created when you're doing that Ujjayi breathing. And you'll notice on these twists, when you get all the way down to the end of your breath, that's when your body is naturally releasing a little bit deeper into it. Nice. With your inhale, take your arms back wide and tall, rooted to the front edge of your sit bones, reaching through your fingers. And then with the exhale, let's open up to the left. So bring your left hand behind you, right hand to the outside of your left knee. Inhale, reach the spine up nice and tall. And on your exhale, twist and take the gaze back across your left shoulder. Again, use the inhales, use the exhales. You're going to feel it massage your spine while you're here. And using that right hand to gently pull against your left to help you get deeper into your twist. Nice. Last round of breath here. Once you're to the end of it, inhale to reach the arms up wide and tall, rooted into your sit bones. With the exhale, bring your hands down into your heart center, and then come forward into a tabletop position. We'll do a little warm up for our wrists. So turn the insides of your wrist to face the front of the room. Palms are down, thumbs point to the side, and fingers point backwards. You can take some side to side movement or back and forth movement, or You could lean back in space, peel your hands off the mat to your fingers, and then slowly roll back forward until the heel of the palm gets down to the ground. Take that a couple times, using the breath. You can see this is just bigger than just stretching your wrists out, right? You're getting into your fingers and your palm, all the way into your forearms as well. Take the back of your hands to the ground, just give a light press, a little massage into them. Nice. And then we're going to take it into hero's pose, where the tops of the feet are to the ground, knees come together, sit bones to heels, and just give a roll out through your wrists. Right on. Come back to that tabletop, just a little more warm up for our spine before we take our first plank. This is cat and cow. If you know where you're going, dive right in. If not, follow me. Drop the belly, lift through the chest and tailbone. This is cow. And then cat is going to be an arch in your back where you drop the tailbone, your mid-back comes up high, and the weight of the head releases down. So you can inhale into your cows, exhale into your cats. But really what I want you to do is just start to customize this to your body this morning. So maybe you find a particular shape, a particular angle, and it feels really good to hold for a little bit and breathe into it, and then you move on to the next. You'll also get some really nice movement here if you just start to rock a little forwards and backwards, or you can push your hips or your shoulders out to the sides. Right on. Wrap up that cat and cow and then meet me in your plank palakasana. Toes to the back of the mat, palms underneath your shoulders. Elbows are micro bent versus being locked. Biceps have that tone in towards center line. You want to feel your hips up on level with your shoulders and then engagement of your core. Breathe in right here. You can do this on your knees with your ankles crossed as well. Exhale halfway down, leading with your sternum to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to reach back up into that plank, so just a push-up. And again, exhale, shift forward, come halfway down, find that Chaturanga Dandasana. Use the inhale to lift back up. Last one, exhale, come halfway down. Nice, use that inhale to lift back up. Perfect, friends. So this exhale, you're gonna lower down, get to the belly, tops of the feet to the ground, and then slide your palms a little lower down the torso, elbows up in space. Tone your shoulder blades in towards one another, and then start to lift your chest off the ground. Find some nice length through the back of your neck, and then you'll lift your feet off the ground, lifting your thighs off the ground, and then start to extend your arms back in space. Beautiful. This is Locust Pose. And this reminds me of being on a surfboard, where you're using that combination of core and back strength. You want to stay with your breathing while you're here. This is a really nice spine strengthening pose. Nice, almost there. Use an exhale to release down, and then let's meet up in down dog. So you can press through your plank or through a tabletop, but then shift your hips back up in space. And you're creating that big A-frame shape with your body. Slowly walk out through your dog, so let one heel pull to the ground as the opposite knee bends deeply. Hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. You're spread out into the circle of your palms, spread out into your fingers. And then your feet are at hip bone distance. And as you can already feel, this one's so great. Lengthening the spine, lengthening through the legs. Nice, friends. Start to hold your down dog, just reaching those hips back up nice and tall in space. Let the head relax and then tone your biceps in towards center line like you're holding tennis balls between your ears and your biceps. With the length of the hips up in space, let the heels pull down. Inhale, right leg up, three-legged down dog. Press your heel up to the wall back behind you in space. Let the front of your right hip bone point down and back. Nice. Stay with the breathing. Relax through the head. And on an exhale, step the foot up between the hands. We find a low lunge position. We're going to come into warrior two from here. So knife edge of your left foot to the ground. And then start to extend your left arm back in space. Let your right arm pull forward. Gaze is out across those front fingertips. Your heels are in one line from the front of the mat to the back. Strength down through both of your legs. Feel that right glute hugging up and back. Let your thighs tone to center line. Spine up nice and tall. And then open through the chest. Shoulder heads release down away from the ears on the back. The right sit bone, right, is tucked underneath your body so that that right knee and right foot are facing forward in space. Find that breath. Breathe in. When your exhale comes, take extended side angle pose. Right forearm presses to right thigh. Left arm goes right up in space. You could also do extended side angle with your left arm out on an angle from your back left leg. Watch that your left hip's not lifting up in space. Drop that left hip on level with your right as you're going into that lunge. Nice, friends. Stay with your breath. And notice sometimes, right, with the gaze, if we're really focused on where it's going, like if you're looking down, your shoulder might drop down. If you start to bring the gaze over to the left or start to twist the gaze up in space, it's going to help that left arm to open up and just help the whole shape of your pose. Try for a second hovering the right forearm right above that right thigh. So you're using all this core strength, all this side body strength, and the strength of your legs right here. Nice. On an inhale, rise back up into your warrior two. And then we're going to take triangle pose. So if you're using a block today, you could take it on level 1, 2, or 3 to the outside of your right ankle. From that warrior two, straighten out your right leg. You're going to keep the right leg straight and lengthened for triangle. Breathe in with the arms extended, and on your exhale, reach as far forward as you can, and then tilt down. Your right hand goes to your block, or your right hand can go to your shin, or fingertips to the ground, or however it lines up for you. Maybe your palm is down to the ground. What we want is to really strengthen around the spine here as you extend the crown of the head forward. Your arms are opening from the ceiling all the way down to the ground. And then that gaze, right, be aware of it. It's to the left or it's up in space because you really want to let that left shoulder stack above your right shoulder. Get strong through your legs as you're lengthening that right leg. If your right knee is locked out and your right leg is kind of slack, just put a micro bend in that right knee and get those muscles fired up around it. Really nice stretch for that left side body when you're inside a triangle too. Right on. So from that triangle, slowly come back up to your warrior two, control the rise, and then bring your left hand to your hip, to your thigh, or wrap it behind your low back. Reach your right arm straight up in space, stay deep into that lunge, and then bend your elbow and tilt your head back in space. This is our reverse warrior. Gaze could also be to the left or back down behind you to your left foot. Feel that lift up through that right side body, that extension from the right hip crease. A nice strength in the legs. You're doing great. Keeping aware of your breath. Nice. Take that inhale. When your exhale comes, just cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Turn onto the ball of your left foot. And then we're going to take our gaze up in space, and we're going to step that left foot up to meet the right into a forward fold at the top of the mat. With the weight heavy through the head, knees slightly bent, so not locked, right? Just that micro bend in your knees. I want you to give a slow nod yes, and then a slow side to side nod no. For our half lift, our spinal extension, add a little more bend to your knees, press to your shins, and then extend the spine forward, gaze it to the ground. Really strengthen the core around the low back, let the shoulder blades tone in for the upper spine. On an exhale, you can release that back down. Hold the core nice and strong, press to the ground, inhale, reverse swan dive, arms wide and tall, extend up, and then hands into your heart center on the exhale. Right on, root to your right foot, friends. Inhale, arms and left knee up. This is one-legged mountain. As we get into our one-legged balance, I want you to focus your gaze on an object that's not moving in front of you. Feel that big right toe gripping to the ground just so you feel the right foot spread out. And then that left knee bent at 90. Beautiful breathing. Okay, we got a little bit of twisting on the ground earlier in practice. Now we're going to do that twist from one-legged mountain. So your left arm starts to reach back behind you, and then your right hand is grabbing onto the top and outside of that left knee or thigh. And like it was doing on the ground, the right hand is pulling against that opposite leg to help you get into your twist. You've got to readjust where your gaze is going, and then find that breathing. If you fall out of it, no worries, just try again. Nice. Okay, inhale back up to your one-legged mountain. And on your exhale, just bring the foot to the ground and the hands into your heart center. From the top of the diving board, you're going to inhale to reach your arms up wide and tall. Breathe in. And on your exhale, take your swan dive. Get strong in your core. Add some bend into your knees. And then let it come down. We're coming back up to that half lift on the inhale. Again, strengthen core, strengthen through the back. Plant the hands, step back into a plank. And then Vashisthasana, side plank. Left hand is your base. Roll onto the outside edge of the left foot. Stack the right onto the left. Right arm lifts up in space. You could also drop that left knee like a kickstand with your toes out to the side. Stay with your breathing. Careful you're not sinking into your left shoulder here. We want to press to the ground and then lift out away from it. Spread out into your left hand. Nice job, friends. Using that breath to stabilize. Okay, when you're ready, you'll turn into your plank. This time we're going halfway down. You could also skip this and go to down dog. And then go to the tops of both of your feet and inhale upward facing dog. Nice. Notice I'm suspending the body weight here on the tops of the feet and the hands. And then when you're ready, just tuck through your toes, and we're coming back into down dog, letting those hips lift up in space. Find your breathing. Find your pose. You inhale to reach the left leg back up, three-legged down dog. Extend through your heel, front of your left hip bone points down and back. Feel that strength coming from your hands. coming through the arms, coming through the core, pressing up through that back left leg. Right leg is pressing off the ground nice and strong. And on an exhale, step up, you got that low lunge. Okay, knife edge of your right foot to the ground once your left foot's up between your hands. And then for your warrior two, right arm is back, left arm is forward. Gaze out over those front fingertips. You feel you've got those hips opening up wide here, but then you're toning back through center line. Those thighs are pulling back and in. And then individual strength down through both of the legs. Feel that left glute pulling up and back. Spine is straight up. And then when your arms open, shoulder heads are released. And that left sit bone's underneath your body, so you're reaching, you're pointing forward right through that left knee, through the left toes. Nice breathing. With your next exhale, take this to extended side angle pose. So bring your left forearm to your left thigh, press into it. Right arm is straight up in space. Notice the back right hip is on level with that left hip. It's not lifting up. You could also reach your right arm out on a diagonal. Just be aware of what you're doing with your gaze while you're here. Again, if your gaze is to the side or kind of looking up, it's going to help that right shoulder to pull back and will open up through your pose here. Okay, for the last little bit, try floating that left forearm above your left thigh and holding the shape of the pose. Strong through your legs, your core, strong through that upper back. Nice, okay. Inhale comes back up to warrior two. For triangle, straighten out that front left leg. You can set a block to the outside of that left ankle. And then keeping your left leg straight, reach your left arm forward, tilt down. Hand to your block or to your shin or fingers to the ground. Right arm's up nice and tall. Your spine is a crossbar here. You want to support the strength of the spine. You want to strengthen around the spine, right? We want to feel that upper back engaged. Feel that low back, that core engaged. Nice. Open your wingspan from the ceiling all the way to the sky. Nice. Okay, from the end of the breath, rise back up into your warrior two. Right hand to your hip thigh or behind you. Left arm reaches straight up. Bend the elbow, tilt the gaze up, or take your gaze over to the right or back down to your back right foot. Stay deep in the lunge and feel that lift through your left side body. Right back hips on level with the left. It's not lifting up above it. Focusing your gaze and focusing on your breathing. Last round of breath here. With that exhale, you can cartwheel your hands down to the left foot, and then you're going to spin onto the ball of the right foot, and then just step your left foot up to meet your right into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Release the weight of the head, fingers are down. Okay, inhale halfway up, strong around that spine, gaze down. Exhale, refold. Press to the ground. Inhale, arms wide and tall, that reverse swan dive. On the exhale, hands to your heart center. Root to your left foot. Inhale, arms and right knee up, one-legged mountain, right knee bent at 90. Focus your gaze. So we got the twist from here, friends. So once you're feeling set up, right arm back behind you in space, left hand pulling against the outside of that right knee. Gaze is back over the right shoulder. Focus your gaze. If you fall out of it, again, just try again. Last round of breath. Inhale, one-legged mountain, face forward. On the exhale, right foot to the ground, hands to your heart center. From the top of that diving board, inhale to reach arms wide and tall. And on the exhale, hinge out from your hips and take that swan dive down to your forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up. Strengthen. Plant the hands. Do your plank. This time side plank. Right hand is your base. Outside edge of right foot to the ground. Left foot over your right, or you've got that kickstand. Right knee to the ground, toes out to the side. Get that right oblique fired up. Lift away from the ground. You guys got it. Stay with your breathing. Nice work. Okay, so on your exhale, turn to your plank. Drop your knees to the ground. Take your legs forward in space, and then we're going to wrap things up on our back. So just slide the hips up. As you come down onto your back, knees to your chest, relax the weight of your head and just rock side to side. And then take your left foot to the ground. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee. Interlace your hands around the left knee or hamstring. And bring the left knee in towards your chest. Flex your right foot, toes back towards your shin. Right knee flexes forward. This is reclined pigeon for your right hip. Feels awesome. Weight of the head is relaxed. Maybe a little bit of side to side movement for that low back. And just feeling the breath moving through the body. Nice. So you can extend your left leg flat out in front of you and just hug your right knee up to your chest. Then left hand pulls your right knee down to the left, roll onto the outside edge of the left hip, reach your right arm to the right, and you're in a spinal twist on your back. Let that right shoulder gently relax towards the ground. A few rounds of breath here. Really nice way just to wrap up the practice. And you can just feel a lot of gravity doing the work here inside of this twist. And your breath still doing that massaging on the spine. Nice, and then come onto your back. We're going to take the right foot to the ground, left ankle over the top of your right knee, grab onto the right hamstring or the right shin, pull that right knee to the chest. Flexion through your left foot, toes back towards the shin, left knee gently flexes forward. And then you're just taking that little rock side to side. Left hand is in between the legs and that gap we've created, and then right arm's just on the outside of that right leg. Again, you want the weight of the head relaxed here. This is for your left hip. If you do that side to side motion, you're also getting that little rock out for your back. Nice. Then just extend your right leg in front of you. Hug your left knee up towards your left shoulder and that spinal twist. Now you're going to draw your knee down over to the side. And then you're going to reach and extend opposite arm out towards opposite wall. And gaze just out across those fingertips. Easy breathing. Last round of breath, you got it. Nice, and then you just roll onto your side, a fetal position. And then you can press your hands to the mat, lift up. We'll find that same cross-legged position we started our session with. Scooch onto the front edge of those sit bones, my friends. All right. Lift up nice and tall through your chest. And then we get to end with this greeting. So hands into your heart center, palms together. And I love a simple translation of this is just, I salute you. So thanks so much for joining. I salute you. Namaste. Right on, guys. All right, have a fantastic rest of your day. It's a beautiful day here in Salt Lake City, Utah. As always, please hit like, subscribe, share the video. That helps out a ton. If you want to make a donation, I've got my Venmo ID in the description. But all my love to you, and I will catch you next time.